Hi everybody, this is Avram Chaptik from the Jewish Learning Exchange. I hope you and yours are well. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Vayetze, and in it, it's going to bring a very important discussion. How does the world work? Well, it seems by nature, by natural law, but in fact, looks can be deceiving. You plant a seed, you water it, and usually it grows. So the appearance of nature is a facade which on one hand is reassuring for us, so we have an idea of what to expect. But on the other hand, there's also a challenge for us because it looks like God isn't involved. But in fact, that is not true. It's fascinating to note that the word hateva, which means the nature, is the same numerical value. Each letter in Hebrew has a numerical value, the same numerical value, 86, as the word Elokim. One of God's names. So even in nature, God is embedded in that. Now, when it comes to relationships, it gets a little bit more tricky. Many of us think relationships pretty easy. You find somebody you want to marry, you want to love, and you get married, and you have children, you have a family, everything's wonderful. But actually, it's not that simple at all. Because again, God is very much involved. We really shouldn't assume anything. We have to hope and pray for good outcomes. Let's give you an example. In this week's portion, everybody was saying that Leah, the oldest daughter of Lavan, would definitely marry Esav, the oldest son of Rivka, their first cousins. But Leah didn't want that, and she prayed and cried, and her eyes were red from it, from crying and praying. And miraculously, her prayers were answered because Lavan tried to trick Yaakov and switched Leah instead of Rachel, and Yaakov ended up marrying Leah, just like her prayers were, and she did not marry Esav in the end. Also in the Parsha, we find Rachel was barren. She couldn't have children. But the verse says that God remembered Rachel. What's interesting to note is the different names of God represent different attributes of God. The name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the four-letter name, the Tetragrammaton, that represents the God of mercy. The name Elokim is the God of judgment. And here it says God, the God of judgment, remembered Rachel, and she had Yosef. And Rashi teaches us why did she deserve it? Yes, there's no question. Yaakov prayed on her behalf. Her sister Leah prayed on her behalf. Rachel prayed on her behalf. But it wasn't the prayer alone that did it. What did it was the special merit that she had, because she did something beyond nature. She helped her, she spared her sister Leah from embarrassment and allowed her to take her place. And that was beyond nature. And that was an unbelievable act of greatness and kindness. And because of that, she deserved to have a child. So that's why it's the God of judgment. God judged her to say, yes, you deserve to have the child. And she had Yosef, and eventually later had Binyamin as well. So this is, these are teaching us some very important ideas. The ideas of that, number one, God is involved in every aspect of the world, and especially looking at nature. If we look at the complexity and the beauty of nature, we can really peel away the surface to see that really God is involved. And we can't assume everything and anything is going to work the way we want it. We have to pray. God is in charge. And we should know that the power of prayer can elicit God's mercy, and we can possibly get what we want. And sometimes doing great things and going beyond our nature, that actually can promote greatness, and God can judge us to do good things for us that way. And this is, of course, relevant to the land of Israel as well, that it definitely needs our prayers and our good deeds and going beyond our nature to do great things. As the secular first prime minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, said, in Israel, to be a realist, you have to believe in miracles. So may, through our efforts of prayer and good deeds and going beyond nature, may we merit to see miracles there that all the hostages are returned and the soldiers come home and all the displaced people are taken care of, and the Jews are protected around the world. Have a wonderful Shabbos, but realize the power of having God in our lives, even when it appears to be He's hidden. Our actions can have a tremendous impact and hopefully some very positive results for all of us individually and as a nation collectively. Have a great Shabbos.